Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are listening to Urban City Radio, where we bring you the sounds of boots on the ground. Yo, we're live. Periscope's live. This your boy, J Will.
This your boy, Ice.
This your guy, AC the Future. And we got somebody in the studio. What's going on?
Yo, what up? It's your man, Bigg Redd. What's happening, fellas?
The big homie is in the building. Yo, we have an extremely great show for you today, since y'all don't want me to say dope show. But, we got some things going on in Columbia, South Carolina. We got some things we want to discuss. This past weekend, we had a great event, Joy Fest. We're going to talk about that. Family Fest.
Yeah,
we had Joy Fest too, but I got you.
Yeah.
We didn't have Joy.
Yeah, we had Family Fest.
Live radio, everybody.
yeah, shout out to DP, man. He's going to be in and out while we're still waiting on Reverend Andre Barnes to jump on the mic. But yeah, man, the night show is going to be great. Make sure y'all tune in. If you're live on Periscope, make sure you share your comments. If you're listening to the radio show, make sure you come live on Periscope so you can experience it live, man. But it's going to be a great show, man.
We're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to go on to the next joint. Y'all stay up with us on Periscope. We're going to be talking back with you.
Urban City Radio, where we bring you the sounds of boots on the ground.
Hold up.
I just need to know if all of you with us. Even when it's winter cold in the summer, I just need to know if all of you with us. I just need to know if all of you with us. Even when it's winter cold in December, I swear I ain't been this cold in a minute. Yeah, they started, but the love about to finish. Don't need to know the score to know that I'm winning. We just told you so you know that we meant it. I was at the brink of thought I would finish. I was at the brink of thought I would finish. Much maybe, and God opened doors like a gentleman lately. I show out for the littlest payments. That's that passion, don't need me a favor. I pull out when they need me to talk a lot. I'm still out, boy, don't get me to walk it out. If you missed it, don't trip, we just talk 'em out. If you hate it, I promise to talk about it. Oh, I bring it out when you need it. Yeah, I seen it all like I'm Jeezy. This part of everybody falling for nothing. But don't worry, that's all a secret. I promise to keep it up. Beat the number, get a corner, let's roll. On your toes right now. Keep the heat to having froze right now. Y'all let know the pipe down and let the spirit take control right now. Yeah, I'm on right now. Woo. I just need to know if all of you with us. Even when it's winter cold in December, I swear I ain't been this cold in a minute. Yeah, they started with a love about to finish. Don't need to know the score to know that I'm winning. We just told you so you know that we meant it. I was at the brink of thought I would finish. I was at the brink of thought I would finish. I just need to know if all of you with us. Yeah. Even when it's winter cold in December, I swear I ain't been this cold in a minute. Yeah, they started with a love out the finish. First a shot, oh Lord, now it's oh Lord, good guy, oh boy, yeah, he got on. That's young lab dog, he not caught. I pray to God that he not on. I've been quiet for some time, I really want these dreams. Like the rap part down, let me stop these keys. Break it down, wrap it up, let me sell these keys. Ooh, them boys cold, let me sell them dreams. What's the cost for your soul right here? Sell it to me, give you gold right here. God, when he put a song right here. Oh yeah. You know a song right there. Tell me who they talking, worry about the crew. We been working, no, there's nothing about you. Keep it 100, I've been about the truth. What about your crew? We still in do. That's right. Oh yeah. I just need to know if all of you with us. Even when it's winter cold in December, I swear I ain't been this cold in a minute. Yeah, they started with a love about to finish. Don't need to know the score to know that I'm winning. We just told you so you know that we meant it. I was at the brink, I thought I would finish. I was at the brink, I thought I would finish.
Look him up. That joker just did that. Welcome back to Urban City Radio, where we bring you the sounds of boots on the ground. We got our homie Bigg Redd in the building with us. We're waiting for Pastor Andre Barnes to come out and chill out with us too. We're going to talk about what happened this past weekend. We're going to dig into that, what happened at Family Fest.
So, since we have somebody here from Word of God, DP, please let us know what happened at Family Fest this weekend.
At every event, basically, there's a thing called house rules. They're to be shared with every artist. They should be shared with every artist prior to their performance. That's professionally, you know what I'm saying? It should be in writing. Sometimes it ends up being verbal, and that's probably is writing. Having it in writing is best.
Yeah.
In this case, it was verbal. And it didn't make it to the management or some. There was some kind of. Now I'm hearing that there was some kind of management change. before this event in Canton staff or something where the message never got to him.
Okay.
Before he got out there. Now, normally in this situation, that's the people that book you normally make the move to the stage and have a very short conversation. It normally is done very seamlessly and professionally, and therefore the artist is normally able to do what it takes to be in compliance.
Right.
In this situation, for whatever reason, the people who could make that move were not in the room.
So it sounds like a big breakdown.
So as the venue can't, as not being the booking party, kind of make that move. I mean, they can, but they really, that's not really the best. You know what I'm saying? That's not really their place.
Right.
They did the only thing the venue could do. That's the business side of it. There's some, what I'm saying, now because of what is what is known about Word of God, my church. Some other things were kind of assumed about why it happened, things like that, and but I get it. I get it because this happened in a different way than I've normally seen these things happen.
Yeah,
to be honest. So.
Now, the thing that kind of got me, and I'm kind of still trying to figure out. Basically, what took place was a very secular expression on Word of God stage.
Say it again.
That was basically what took place was a very secular expression.
The electric slide, not just being done from the stage, but being done as a congregational dance.
Okay, and
that and no secularism is on the is on the rider.
Yeah.
It's on the venue rider. It's some if you look at some venues because of what I do for a living. If you look at some venues, it's called house rules.
Yeah.
And in other venues, it's called a venue rider. In the same way that the artist rider being breaches the contract where the artist has to perform.
Yeah.
And then you have another one where the house rider or the venue rider can breach the contract that has the venue hosting the event. So
okay. Now that we got the business side out of the way, because that could be a little boring for some people.
That's kind of it,
you know what I'm saying? But we had to get that part out of the way so we can get this discussion going. Now, what does that mean for Columbia now? Because a lot of people, Twitter went crazy, Facebook went crazy. A lot of people had a lot of different expressions, a lot of different opinions about how they felt Canton Jones was treated, about how they felt about Word of God Church, about how they felt about. But I posed the question: so what happens now here in Columbia? What kind of spirit does that leave? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we look at what happened, but we don't look at the effect of what happened that has on the city. Because when I think about Canton Jones is fine. It might have been a bad experience for him, but he goes back to where he's loved. He goes back to where he's supported,
fully paid.
Yeah, and plus he was fully paid for the event. It's not like he lost money, but Columbia is affected.
Right. And I think Columbia's confused right now.
Yeah.
And I think this is the place where I think this is the time when especially since this show is like an urban ministry show, this is the time when we get to see what our urban pastors here are made out of.
Yeah.
Actually, because we have a confused community.
Yeah.
And the only people that can really, that can unconfuse them are people who have facts and people who are ready to be the actual ministers for the community. You know what I'm saying? Make this work in a way that the body is better for it. You know what I'm saying? Not more divided. Make the body better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this was a leaving the spirit here, or it was more of a breakdown of communication, and also it was something that was already here that just kind of came to the surface from a certain moment. It's basically something that was already implanted here for a minute.
What you mean by that? Like, what you mean? Expound on that.
So what I mean by that is the way people reacted. They reacted already with perception, with a perceived notion that they knew what happened, but nobody knew. Nobody even thought about the business side of it. They just jumped straight to a thought of what happened because of where the location was, where the event was held, and what type of event it's been for the past 26 years or something like that.
23. Yeah, I think this is 23rd. Yeah.
And I understand that, but I say when I say it's something that was left, what I'm talking about is, okay, even if it wasn't, all right, so how people have old wounds, and we talk about when you're picking at the old wound. Okay, so that wound you know what I'm saying, is old. So when I reveal that room, I'm revealing an old room, but I'm still making new damage.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the new damage to what could be an old wound when I'm talking about what's left. So, you know what I'm saying, we're dealing with the issue of what was done. You know what I'm saying? Because Columbia now has to heal. You see what I'm saying? Or Columbia has to, like Dave was saying, there has to be a fixing of that, because what initially happened when I looked on Facebook, when I looked on Periscope, was it was a us against them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, wait, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Because of a miscommunication at one church between one artist, we went into a us versus them.
Right. But let's not blame the art. I mean, it's not the church's fault or the artist's fault. I put it like this. You got to think about it. With the church being a venue, the venue has rules. You got to think about it when you were out there and an artist came to a club and performed, and there's a noise limit. Once that noise limit is reached, and if the person is in
Noise ordinance?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So once it's over that noise amount, the police come in and shut it down. That's just like when you live in somewhere and it's like you're at your apartment, you having a party, and whoever downstairs or whoever is around you, if your music's too loud, they call the police. The police comes to knock at your door, say, yo, turn your music down, and move on. If you do not turn your music down, then you have to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, but I feel like, I just when I look at stuff like that, I think sometimes, man, we take stuff so personal. You know what I'm saying? Because, when you think about music, man, especially those that are on a certain level of stage, just like when Prince died, right? That affected a lot of people who never met Prince, but they were emotionally affected by his death because they felt like they knew him and they had a relationship with him through his music.
Right.
It's the same way when you think about Canton Jones. There are a lot of people who have a certain level of relationship with him through his music. And so when this happened to Canton Jones, those that have that relationship with him through his music, they were emotionally affected. And they responded out of emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because, they had a certain level of love and respect for him. So it's like, okay, basically, like if something happened with your sister, right? Somebody did something to your sister, you emotionally respond like, yo, what's going on? What you did to my sister? You know what I'm saying? Before you even find out what really happened, because of the emotional tie.
Or it ain't even about the emotional tie they have to the person. It might be how they view themselves. Because it's like, dang, if he get rejected, how I'm gonna get treated? Some artists would, and I saw a couple people say, how you gonna judge this man's worship, this man's praise? I don't think he came to do the electric slide to do worship or praise. He did it to entertain. I mean, but if they already view that they're going to be perceived a certain way, if they're going to be received a certain way, they see something like this happen, even though, like I said, it was a breakdown of communication. Nothing personal towards Canton. It was nothing towards Canton, who he is as a person, who he is as a man, even what his spiritual walk is. This was just the rules of the house. But now they take it as something personal, as in, they attacked him for who he is.
Well, I think that, you guys have said this already. I think there were a lot of things that were already there. Yeah. And I think why this conversation could easily go on for hours. First of all, this conversation is very needed. I think, going back to AC's point, healing is needed. It's a lot of hurt people for whatever reasons. The reason people get hurt is, you may have already experienced a past pain, or you're seeing a world view. You're seeing what's happening right here, right now through a previous experience or previous or current worldview, but it's based on something from the past.
Yeah. Yo, we're going to pick this right back. Yeah, we're going to pick this right back up. Okay. Urban City Radio, boot up.
Numb the pain, I don't wanna numb. I don't wanna numb the pain, I need a solution. All I wanna do, all I wanna do is make it through. Lord, I've been praying to you for some time now. Really wish you hurry up and turn some things around. Patience, please give me more of that. The old me knocking on the door, she tryna come back. Now I know that you done delivered me from sins from my past, but I'm still dealing with some things. It's time to unveil this mask. Like I wanna be married, I pray about it every day, but you keep denying my request. like you don't wanna share me. What am I doing wrong? Is it just not my time? Maybe it's just not my season. God, please give me the reason. A solution I'm seeking. This desire to be touched really needs to weaken. God, I'm just being honest, and I don't wanna stand. These dudes be trying to holler at me, even married men, but I'ma wait on you, praying that you see me through. And while you working on my boys, can you make me rude? I don't wanna numb the pain, I don't wanna numb. I don't wanna numb the pain, I need a solution. I don't wanna numb the pain, I don't wanna numb. I don't wanna numb the pain, I need a solution.
In the sky, you're seeing myself in the clouds. Ain't no way that you're shooting me down now. I'm a moving target. Devil keep trying to harm me, but I got God all in. You best to be bringing the army. I'm telling you something you should know. Homie, I never will fold. I done been there, but I never relinquish my soul. I promise I can't let it go. The devil's a lie. No holding me down, holding me back, controlling my life. When I look at the pain, the struggles, I feel like I'm earning my stripes. Ooh, I'm ready for yeah. There's a body to the toe down. Ooh, I don't care who you are. Yeah. See, I'm about to shut them down. Got to know I gotta get all these shackles and chains off of me. I need a solution. I try not to numb all this pain that's in me. Father God, I know you hear me calling. Keep me strong, don't let me fall.
Yo, this your boy Sean Green representing Christ Hop. You are now tuning in to Urban City Radio.
Let's go. I've seen hard times, I've had bad days. Sometimes it's because of my mind state. Even if outside there was sunshine, by this block, by the blinds and it fades. Felt like I was trapped in a cage. In high school, couldn't focus. Thought that for college, I'd be hopeless. And if I was gone, then nobody would notice. Hold up, no one was doing the close-up. Doodles all up inside of my notes, cause didn't understand the problems. And it kept getting worse, didn't know how to solve it. Buds in a casket, girl wasn't being real, call it fake, kinda like catfish. Mine's running games, cutting me deep like a hand on a cactus. I skate getting high on the track though, but the bar wasn't as high. When I'd land with my back on the mat, felt like I was getting hit head on in the crash. Getting mad, turn to sadness. Then my mind was playing these games, cause voice in my head taking shots like ready, set, aim. So complicated that I can't explain. Deception was plotting me out and the thoughts just crept in my brain. I was like, God, am I okay? Why do I get so low on myself every day? Then he helped me fight with his word. No to a non-believer, this sounds kinda absurd, but life almost killed your boy with a curve. I was drinking up at a broken cistern, pull me up by the collar, up out of all of that drama. Show me how he saw me, send his son to take that penalty. Now we're finally seeing G-O-D, I'm free. So now I stand up tall, tell them thoughts, take a seat. God is the king and he's crushing this beef, yeah. God is the king, so he's crushing like all of this beef, yeah. I was falling apart, I was off of my guard. Broken pieces of me, dropping, man, this is hard. How do I play my part? How do I play my part? I just wanna see, but God, it's so dark. But God, it's so dark. But God, it's so dark. Yeah, so I stepped up when the thoughts crept up. Now I'm free, I ain't never gonna let up. God over money, I'm a Christ rapper. Devil on my shoulder, take a seat. I'm not gassed up, but your boy got heat. God crushed the beef like I said, I'm free. No shackles locked on my hands and feet. He's strong when I'm weak, we play that all on repeat. Lazarus, I'm raised up. No shots to my face like I'm in the club. Take all my stuff, you won't break the bank, cause I'm saved by grace. And I'm loved by the one from above, covered in the blood. I got Jesus, so I don't need drugs. That's right, man, I got Jesus, so I don't need drugs. I was falling apart, I was off of my guard. Broken pieces of me, dropping, man, this is hard. How do I play my part? How do I play my part? I just wanna see, but God, it's so
dark, but God, it's so dark.
Yo, welcome back to Urban City Radio. We're going to pick back up where we left off at. Bigg Redd was saying some things. Go ahead, Red.
Yeah, I was just saying that, people have so many different experiences that they bring to the table. So you have some people who may have been church hurt. You have people who come from a urban, worship experience. You have some who've never set foot in urban communities, so who this, even the topic of this show is foreign to them. They like, I don't wait, what happened? I don't get it. So I think one of the bigger conversations that needs to be had and will go beyond even this show is, there was just so many dynamics at play, this weekend. So you have the conversation of, hip hop, period, hip hop as an expression of worship. Then you have, what's acceptable as worship within the church or outside of the church. I heard that conversation, saw that, well, if we did this in Finley Park, it would have been different versus inside of the church. Well, it's like, okay, well, is it right if it's in the building or outside of the building? Like, what's basically what is the standard?
Not to cut you off, but I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people are starting to not comprehend because they're not understanding the idea of a standard. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, and it's so much bigger than just what happened. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like this was something that needed to be talked about, because a lot of people were looking at just this one event, but not the actual idea or the true total dynamic that this is actually bigger than just what happened at Canton Jones. Because like I said, it happened with Canton Jones. Canton Jones, the only response I saw him have, I don't know what he had in person, but the only response he had on social media was basically, much love, Columbia, we'll be back.
Right.
I felt like that was a respectable way to respond, considering the emotions that I saw on social media from other people and even some people from his camp.
Sure. Although there's another Jones that had some different responses than that one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was some other people in the camp, kind of closely connected that had some different responses. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and those were a bit more vicious. And that might have been where a lot of the, I think maybe that might be, to me, that I'm trying to get to the churchy part of it, but for me that's a management problem. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, those statements that were made didn't address the actual management problem that happened. You see what I'm saying? The actual professional problem that happened. It actually was a business thing happened, and it was done in one of the ways that you never see that happen that way.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it looked a certain way, but it actually was something different. Now the arguments I've been seeing are more along the lines of, okay, why are those the house rules? Right?
Yeah.
Now that's what I think the argument is, but to say that he was disrespected because of whatever made those the house rules is because you can't argue the house rules once you're there.
Right. And it's not fair. And it's not fair to argue anybody's house rules. Period.
Yeah. Right.
Even as an artist myself, when I go out and I minister, you check, or your management, like you said, the management checks and say, okay, I know I'm coming into this place. I know you invited me to come, but is this acceptable? Is this acceptable? And it may not be written sometimes, people, they're so used to how their church flows, and then everybody else knows except the people that's coming in.
Yeah.
And then it's like, they get on the stage and they like, oh, okay, you brought me in. Let's rock. Yeah. And then they do they bring in truffle butter and rap over it and try to make it, I'm gonna spit these hot bars for Jesus. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, gotcha. Whoa, bro. It's like, no, this is not acceptable.
Yeah. Just like your house. Like, I can't walk in your house and be like, yo, let me walk into your refrigerator real quick, see what you got to eat, fix me something to drink, without asking you first.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of the same thing, like, like say if you were raised, Baptist and you walk into an apostolic church, but you don't know the history, the denomination, the doctrine of the apostolic, and you mess around and say something that goes against their religion, their doctrine in their house. You didn't know it, but it's still, that's one of the things that you should learn before you step into that atmosphere. But see, you know what I'm saying? So I think when especially like when you think about Canton Jones, you think about where he came from, the type of ministry that he does, the type of outreach that he does, the type of people. Because I mean, he's Canton Jones. So when you begin to do your research on him, like I said, I follow him. I don't really necessarily follow him like all the way, but I follow some of the people that's in his camp. You know, some of the things that they do, and I see the kind of the demeanor they have, the type of attitude that they have. So when you tell me that they're doing the electric slide during their show, it's not a surprise to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's something that I've come to expect based off of the periscopes that I've seen, the posts that I see on Facebook. Not talking about them, not downing them, but who they are is who they are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but you know, and so these are the types of things that we start to see when Jay said he could have done the electric slide at another place before also, and it was a shot to be shut down. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like that could have been something they've been doing that's a key factor. So like say they've been at other churches, which they have. They've been at other churches. You know, Canton Jones has referred to multiple churches and probably done the electric slide at these churches. Yeah. And whether the church felt some way or not, it may not have been said. So if the church didn't say anything, whether they felt some way or not, that's basically the same thing as giving an okay. Right. So now you come to another church, you don't expect, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not saying that it's okay, not saying it's not okay, but I'm just saying that's the kind of
you don't go into it thinking this may not be okay.
Yeah, because your experience has told you that it hasn't been a problem yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we gotta as artists, and I mean as a church as a whole, especially in the urban Christian market, we have to decide what purpose we serve. Because there are some artists who might be mainly entertainment. You know, they might be there to make you dance, have fun with you. Then there might be artists that come with the mindset, I'm trying to minister in hopes that somebody receives Jesus and sees Jesus today. But we have to make a distinct line. What is the purpose of what you do? And that means you also have to fit the venue you go to.
Right. Some people are the road, some people are the bridge.
Yeah.
And I think
I agree. You know?
I was about to say, just piggyback on Jay. You got to know the difference between Christian entertainment and Christian ministry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Sound like Red got something to say.
That was deep.
Yo,
it was deep. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, we about to be right back. Lord have mercy.
Urban City Radio.
No flexing, no, no. No flexing, no, no. I don't flex, like, what? I don't, what?
No flex.
I ain't gotta flex. And I've been winning, never really need to stress. When you rockin' with the best, see you got a new mentality. I used to have dreams, now they looking like reality. People live in fear, man, that's really a shame. Never knew that true life till I lived under shame. See, I stay in my lane, but I got a new direction. Cause I'm always chasing life like I got a new obsession.
No flex.
Stop trying to fit in so bad, homie, stand up. You love your career or just chasing the Benz now? Do you love your life? Take a look at your surroundings, all your friends are right. Take a look at what you put your time in, what are you finding? Is that really bad or you just with them cause they fine, man? Oh, no shade though, I just say what's on my mind, I do it all the time. What kind of person would I be if I just let you live erratically? I know the truth but then I don't tell you, that's pretty bad to me. Looking at the world is pretty sad to me. So broke, talking about they living lavishly. So broke, but they chase the same thing, then expect change. Now the definition is insane.
We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex. We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex. We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex.
Nowadays everything, so trapped. No lie like a relaxer, yo, I hit them with the facts. Devil tryna play me, tryna put me in the trap. Said he checking on me like a paper with a tax. But I only count on God like a banker with the racks, yo, I'm ready. Cutting to the chase like a machete. Better know your place, cause you can't get replaced. God is love, but he ain't the heart emoji face, man. Homie, let me show you life, I'm talking joy in the morning. Tucking at the deuce, I got peace in the morning. Love everlasting, honey pop in my hat is love, it's a passing. Sin, I'm a pass, spin this last, not me. Reap what you sow, man, I got a lot of seeds. Time to be bold, representing correctly. Her name is Shane, girl, living life, so let me,
We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex. We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex. We don't no flexing, no flexing, no flex.
No flexing, no flexing, no. No flexing, no flexing, no. No flexing, no flexing, no. No flexing, no flexing, no.
Hey, this is Ron Colombo from Team Jesus, and you're listening to Urban City Radio.
Everything. Look at the life of a king. I picture it giving this life that I'm living. I gotta get driven for all the people that believing that he rose. Slow down, gotta breathe slow. Every move that I make, they saying I'm a fool, I'm a fake. Tell me what it mean, my legacy gotta be 3 nails on the stake. I gotta be real, and I want you to hear everything that he felt, all the sin that was dealt. Tell me how does it feel? Let my legacy be all the things that he wants me to be. Everything that I want you to see is a man that is free from the chains that he broke. Tell him all how it go. Oh,
light on the hill, light on the hill, light on the hill. Shine with me, shine with me. Fight for the Ville, fight for the Ville, fight for the Ville. Come get me, come get me. And we understand what we fighting for. Got the upper hand though. It's your sovereignty that got a hand on me. Got me feeling brand new. Light on the hill, light on the hill, light on the hill. Shine with me, shine with me. Fight for the Ville, fight for the Ville, fight for the Ville. Come get me, come get me. And we understand what we fighting for. Got the upper hand though. It's your sovereignty that got a hand on me. Got me feeling brand new. I've seen a life change overnight. I've seen a dark mind brought to light. I felt the spirit lifting me, healing me, drilling me, teaching me what it's like to be a man with identity. And properly understand that my plans are in his hands. And if they don't happen, it's cause he got better plans than I could ever imagine. Managed. Work. It's a team that leaves a legacy, a dream that breeds a destiny, a vision lives a centerpiece of.
Welcome back to Urban City Radio, where we bring you the sounds of boots on the ground.
Yeah. I was before when we left out, I made a statement where I was talking about you have to learn the difference between Christian entertainment and Christian ministry. Basically, what I'm saying is, a lot of times we get confused of the two. We think that we can think that our entertainment as Christians or being entertaining as Christians is actually us ministering, but the idea of ministry is talking about serving, but serving with the purpose of bringing about change. When you think about entertainment is just about basically what the word says. It's basically mainly just to draw entertainment and to entertain. A lot of times when I look at certain Christian artists, I can initially tell what it is their focus is and what it is they're really trying to do. Regardless of what they say they're trying to do, I can tell by their actions, I can tell by the decor, the demeanor, and it's not a form of judgment or anything like that, but it's just you have to know within yourself what it is that you're called to do and how you're called to operate so that you present it properly. Because what happens is if you're not truly understanding what it is you do, you may misrepresent what it is you're offering people, and then now you become a false advertiser unaware, and so because you become a false advertiser, you're thinking you're offering something else. People are telling you what you're truly giving, and you're becoming offended because they're showing you the real you that you never understood that you were.
And to jump in what AC was saying, it's not a bad thing to be a Christian entertainer, because that entertainment side draws a lot of people to church so they can actually get ministered to. So don't think that it's a bad thing, artists. If you're in Christian rap or anything, it's not a bad thing to be a Christian entertainer. You just have to know your lane and just basically stay in your lane and know what you're doing. Because if you're entertaining the crowd to get them all riled up and get them excited about Christ, that's great. They're excited about Christ. Now is the point where the Christian minister, the Christian artist minister, come and take over and be like, okay, this is what the word is about. Now let's get you in church so that you can learn more about Christ and be discipled to correctly.
That's real, because you gotta think about it. You got mentorship, and then you have like actual life coaching, and then you have the teaching that leads to like degrees and things like that. But you can't act like you're doing one when you're not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's my thing. And some can do both.
Yeah.
Or some can do 2 of the 3. But not all the time. Like for me, I know I just got from my own testimony of how I got saved. It started with friendships, then it turned into mentorships, then got to a place where I was open for the type of teaching and things like that made me mature as a Christian.
Yeah.
But you weren't going to start with the first.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't going to start with the teaching. Because first of all, homie, who you talking to?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know you like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So some people are going to be the people who are best at starting the friendship.
Sure.
Some people are going to be best at, once the friendship started, getting in and being the mentor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then other people are going to be the people who really lead to the actual, you know what I'm saying, to the real maturity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're not, but you got to know which lane you're playing, because you can't be trying to be the friendship and be the spiritual maturity teacher do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Until you know that you're capable to do both for this particular person or for this particular group, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got to stay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that actually pulls out a point that I wanted to bring up, because a lot of what I see is like people talking about a deeper scar. There are a lot of Christian artists that feel like there's no market for Christian rap here in Columbia.
I'm glad you said that.
And one of the things that I wanted to share tonight is, okay, so when you think about what a market is, right? A market is the where you can take your music in order to be purchased, or how your music is sold. You know, that's just a simple way of explaining it. Of course, it gets very deeper than that. But okay, so let's look at that, right? So you're talking about here, when you think about Columbia, you know, and people talk about there's no market for Christian rap, which is true. It's not really a big market for Christian rap here in Columbia, because you have such a diverse difference between the two, generational gap thing going on between churches, the new age and the traditional. We tend to look at how we're rejected in the church, and we tend to look at how the older generation doesn't really accept rap. We don't understand that it's not necessarily a bash against us, but they just don't listen to rap. You know what I'm saying? They're not into hip hop, so it's kind of hard for them to accept Christian hip hop. You know, can you imagine your 80-year-old grandmother riding down the street going, "I feel like after 8"? No, they shouldn't do that. But you know, but we feel offended when they reject that kind of music. You know what I'm saying? But then you think about what Christian music does. So like the generation that it's supposed to reach, right? Those, you say our music is for the lost. Can you imagine somebody who's still in the world, still trying to smoke, listening to a song that tells you that, you know, it's bad to smoke? They're not going to feel comfortable listening to that. They can't do what they want to do still listening in your music. Right. Same thing if you're talking about being addicted to something and they're still addicted to it, it's not going to make them comfortable, so they're not going to listen to it. Because music, when we think about when we listen to music, we listen to music that's going to feed whatever it is we're trying to do.
True. Right.
So what happens is our music now becomes non-marketable to the church and non-marketable to the streets. So there's no market. What we do is we have to build that market. Yeah. So the first thing that we have to do if we want a Christian market to be here in Columbia is to evangelize the people that are going to invest in the market.
Yeah, say that. Say that.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about, oh, there's no market for Christian rap in Columbia, well, the problem is because you're so busy trying to sell something instead of trying to generate it and trying to generate a people that are turn around and invest in you. So you have to first do the first work. You got to plant the seed before you can get the harvest. That's one of the biggest problems I have with a lot of Christian rappers is they're looking for a harvest of a seed they never planted. And I know God said that we'll reap harvests from seeds that we didn't plant. We'll live in houses that we didn't build, but he was not talking about not being willing to do the work to reap a harvest that you want in your life.
So in other words, with your music, you can't start in the church. You have to start with the lost. So go out there and minister to those and try to get people that are willing to listen to you. And we're going to bring it back with Urban City Radio.
That I'm living, I gotta get driven for all the people.
Onto the floor with this power and strength. Down on my knees where I'm tapping my teeth. Praying for wisdom and courage and strong will, cause my faith is dying and shooting lit. Running a race and I'm moving slow. Tired of faking my growth and my flow. I'm going back to the heart of the king. I'm in need of a high so that I can go low. Depression is killing the church and we know. We never scared cause we're scared to say
impatient and rushing your will. I'm in need of your peace, Lord, help me to be still. Strengthen my faith like I'm the man of steel. Teach me to dig in your word, I will till. Give me a hope to depend on your will, and my soul be addressed because you paid the bill. I made a decision to open the door. Give you the will, give you control. Road isn't easy, it's narrow and long. Going through fire, going through storms. Holding your word to the tragedy end. Stand on your truth to the parts that you bend. Your word is life and I'm breathing it in, and I'm hiding in you to the storm end. Condemn as I can, they're pointing their hands, trying to confuse me and question my stand. Honestly, really, I won't pay attention. I'm spending my time, I'm saving my worth. For what it is worth, I'm not of this earth, I'm running to you, so show me the path. You are the one that I love and the one that I need and the one I will follow. I made a decision to follow your mission, and yeah, I'm turning my life around. I made a decision to follow your mission, and yeah, I'm turning my life around. Turn around, turn around. I'm turning my life around. Turn around, turn around. I'm turning my life around. Hey Lord, I'm back again. Loving how I can talk to you again. Loving how I can call you my friend. Father, Savior, beginning and end. I'm so turned, like you got no worries. And I fly high, I ain't got no hurries. Love me, love, love, need, love, need me badly. Homie, I ain't the same, bro. I'm turned like a ballerina. I'm turned like the DJ table.
Yeah. Revivers. To the revivers. If we look at church history, we can see that every now and then they choose a generation to bring revival in. Pray that we can see it. All up. Pray that we can be it.
So far from you. So far from what you called us to. So we're calling you to do what only you can do. Ignite us again. Reignite us again. Spark a fire within. Break the power of sin. Revive us. Revive us. Revive us. Revive us.
Who's with me? Wondering who's with me? 100% like 250. For asking the Father for in-house cleaning. For the sake of the mission. Now who's with me? To deal with sin's condition, we practice repentance. To deal with racial tension, we practice forgiveness. We empathize, we talk, we sit and we listen. We gotta be different, remember we Christians. Yeah, we're secure on the ark with Christ at the helm. But we gotta watch and pray like watching a film. Cause there's real warfare in the spiritual realm. And we get weary and well-doing and overwhelmed. So my prayers, we stay faithful and preach gospel. Seek holiness first and fight false doctrine. Break pride, unify a divided body. I pray we prioritize being Christ's carbon copy.
So far from what you called us to. So we're calling you to do what only you can do. Ignite us again. Ignite us again. Spark a fire within. Power of sin. Revive us. Revive us. Revive us. Revive us.
Lord, we need a revival. We need a shock to our vitals. We're laying idle. Survival's become our idol. And now it's becoming primal. Plus becoming a cycle. And this downward spiral is going viral. So we need much more than Bible recitals. Lord, please light a fire in us. We are so skeptical. Give us a desire to trust. We are so stuck in our ways. Get us up out of the dust. We got knowledge, but we need more. We act tough, but we just see before. We need you. We need you more. We're so sick, and you're the cure. Everything's better with you. Every good thing that we have is a blessing from you. If we knew that all of our rest is in you, we throw everything away for 1 second with you. Cause everybody wants heaven, but heaven is you. Yeah. Cause everybody wants heaven, but heaven is you. Heaven is you.
We wander so far from you, so far from what you called us to. So we're calling you to do what only you can do. Nice again, be nice again.
Yo, we back. Urban City Radio. We're back. We were having a dope discussion. If you're not following us on Periscope, you need to follow that Freethinkers Periscope and tune in next week because you're missing so many things behind the scenes. But yo, AC, you had a point you want to bring up?
We were talking about during the break. We were talking about how rejection plays a huge part in the mentality that a lot of Christian rappers have nowadays, especially when you think about youth or young up and coming artists. Man, when you think about just my experience, being a Christian rapper, there's some churches that I go to and the looks on their faces while I'm ministering is a strong feeling of rejection that hits me. It's making me feel like they're not receiving what I'm saying. They're not receiving my ministry. They're looking at me a certain type of way. And so I feel rejected by those that I thought would love and appreciate what I had to offer. That leaves a longing and a lingering feeling of resentment. It can leave a feeling of unforgiveness there. It can destroy your trust. It can do if you're not and this is a big huge thing, when you think about fatherlessness, when you think about the absence of a validated voice in your life, when you think that you're expecting that validation to come from a certain area and you don't receive it, now you have that void of validation. So now you continue to search to be validated, or you have to turn into a self-validator. And one of the worst things you can be is it's not bad, but it can turn out to be bad if it's overexhausted. It's self-validation.
Somebody always got to prove themselves. I mean, that's why I kind of brought up the whole comment about purpose earlier, because right now it's identity crisis we're dealing with. So people don't know what their purpose is. Everybody feel as though I'm called to do something, but I don't know exactly what I'm called to do. I love this show because the reason for this show, the purpose for this show, is because we're trying to help Christian artists find purpose. Because the streets need you. But if you ain't in the streets, if you ain't got no purpose for the streets, or if you don't even know how you should approach the streets, if you can't be you, the streets can't God can't use you in these streets.
That goes back to everything we talk about. I mean, just the upbringing. Real recognize real.
Yeah.
It don't matter where you from. You can recognize what real is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can walk. It's some people that can walk in the neighborhood and they can be like, that dude cool just because it's respect.
Right.
It's just a respect thing.
Yeah.
I can walk in somewhere and say, yo, what's happening? How everybody doing? And they're going to be respect.
Yeah, we live in a right now culture. You're right. For real.
And being real is, you got to think about, like, for me, I can put on every suit I want to. I'm not going to fit in to a corporate, and I know that. Something about me is going to give me away.
Yeah.
And many times I think we I don't like to do that thing. But many times I know sometimes, for the sake of trying to get to a certain place, try to change my appearance or change what I'm doing, or try to be less me, because I feel like me is going to be rejected.
Yeah. Right.
And me gets rejected, and the fake play around me gets rejected also.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I think that's a hard pill to swallow, I think.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it takes you a minute for who you really are to get what's for who you really are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You got to learn how to deal with rejection, man. Alan says there's a road to success. It's always under construction. Just have to continue building it. That's true. But what I was going to say is you have to learn how to deal with rejection, because if you deal with rejection the wrong way, it ultimately causes you to respond in a way that brings about more rejection. And so what it ends up is a vicious cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say you have to be confident in who God made you to be. And at the end of the day, that means whether you're an artist or not, you have to spend time in the presence of God.
Amen.
To see, okay, he has an image that he had of you before he made you. Right. So before we got here, before we got to this table, before AC the Future, before Ice, before DP, before Bigg Redd, whatever, God's like, I know who you are. I know what I'm putting inside of you. I know who I'm going to use you to draw. So it's like, look at me. Let me look in my mirror. I'm the mirror. You look at me and I'm going to show you who you are. And then we reflect that in the earth. Like if you look back, when I first started rapping, it was like a couple of days before my CD release party. This was in May 2012.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
That.
Yeah.
I went out and it's cool. I'm not knocking those who do it, but for me, I went out and I bought a Rutgers hat. Okay, it had it was a red hat with a white R on it. That became like my brand. I don't wear hats. Okay, but I felt like man, I'm stepping into this world. I need to rock a fitted. That was the thing then. It's like I need to be rocking a fitted so that my outside goes with my beats, goes with my delivery.
Wow.
Now, and my wife, she'll love it if she's watching. She'll love that I'm sharing this. But just over time, even my wife was like, "Babe, that's not you."
Yeah.
Like, she's like, "That's not you. You wear bow ties." Like why are you doing this? And so over time and here lately, I've become more comfortable wearing bow ties at my shows. Like when just got off a tour with David Mann and Canton Jones, and I laughed because a lady in Charlotte, the last city, she came to me and she was like, "I didn't know what you was about to get up there and do." She said, "I thought you was a comedian. I didn't know if you were gonna sing. I had on a vest and a bow tie with jeans and Nikes." And then she was like, "I did not expect that you was gonna rap." But she was like, "I appreciate you just being you." Like, and now to your point, it's like who you guys draw, they'll be drawn to you by how you look. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, "Yo, when I look at Dave, when I look at AC, I'm like, I see somebody I can relate to." Yeah. And it's like, I just believe God is going to use our authenticity to just draw people. So we just got to be confident in who we are in Christ.
All right, we listen to Urban City. We'll be back. Boot up.
Let's just stay patient. No, they hate waiting. They ain't got what it takes. They just trading away everything they say left on their statement. They ain't got the inner faith to make their payments. Meaning they ain't us. They ain't got the creator all in their faces. One that they pray to make their pain evaporate like rain on blacktop pavements. Let me stop playing. Cock and name it, all these cockamamie fraud prophets claiming that they got the brains to say their observations are a conversation with the Father of us all and the God who made us. But only they got.
Yo, we back. Urban City Radio, where we bring you sounds of boots in the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, we just had a really dope show.
Man,
yes, I said it.
We thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to get this opportunity. We're going to allow this opportunity for Bigg Redd to talk about who he is, what he does, and what kind of events he got coming up and where you can get his music. Redd?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure, and thank you for creating this conversation. I think it's a part of healing, and we just pray for the listening body and all the people whose lives are going to be touched by it. So I love social media. I'm on Twitter @official Bigg Redd. I'm on Periscope, Bigg Redd Music, YouTube, Bigg Redd Music, Snapchat, Bigg Redd Music, Instagram, Bigg Redd Music, Pandora. You can create a Bigg Redd Pandora station. Just check me out. So we got some big stuff coming out live. We just shot the music video for my radio single Big Jesus, My God So Big. So that'll be coming out in about a month.
Okay.
So just keep your eyes peeled for that. And you can always head to BiggRedd.com to be in the know.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, we got some announcements we're gonna shout out real quick. Ice has just released his Pigpen video. For those that don't know, it's out on YouTube. It's also out on Facebook. So look it up. Just type in Pigpen featuring AC the Future, and it should pop up right then and there. Also, Raymond Word Restoration Ministries is having their Fortify the Family Conference this week. For those that are listening on Periscope, you can still catch it this week. If you're listening to the show, then you probably missed it because the show airs Friday night. But good news. I got great news. You can register. You can still register after the event is over. You can receive all of the nights. I think the registration is $40 to receive all of the nights. $50 to get you all of the nights, all of the symposiums. To get you 2 CDs of my pastor's personal work and even 3 copies of his book. So that's Raymond Word Restoration Ministries Fortify the Family Conference. Also, next week's show we're gonna have. I think the outro is already playing, but next week's show we're gonna have
4 minutes.
Kevin and Kashima Brown on the show. They're a local couple who's opening up a boxing gym called Battle Boxing. It's themed toward helping at-risk youth. So they're going to be on the show next week talking about that. But I wanted to go ahead and broadcast that they're opening up this Saturday, June 4th. The grand opening is going to take place from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So make sure you go out and check them out. They're located at 111 Northway Road, Columbia, South Carolina 29201. They're between the Department of Motor Vehicles and the state newspaper, man. So make sure you check them out. They'll be on the show next week, Wednesday, June 8th. Sinclair and Jamie Salters are planning for a family missions trip to Nicaragua, and they need your help. So hit them up on their GoFundMe account. You can hit them up on the website www.gofundme.com 25JUB5AC as in cat. Once again, that's gofundme.com/25JUB as in boy, the number 5AC as in cat. That's the Salters family. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit us up on Urban City Radio. Send us an inbox. You can also hit us up at our Gmail, urbancitysc@gmail.com. You can also submit your music there. Submit any music submissions to urbancitysc@gmail.com. We'll be happy to play your music on the show. We even allow the records to be broken. Real quick, Urban City Radio is also looking for Urban City Radio is also looking for a female artist that's willing to be a part of the show, man. Is there any female artists that feel like they're wanting to spread their vocals on the show, want to be a part of the show, want to volunteer? Hit us up at Urban City Radio, man. We'd definitely love to have you be a part. Any community events that's going on, let us know. Send us an inbox, send us a shout out. Follow us on social media at Urban City SC. That's all social media outlets: Periscope, Twitter, Urban City SC, Facebook, Urban City Radio. Follow us there. Topic suggestions, make sure you drop those as well, man. So we thank y'all for tuning in. Those are all the announcements that I have.
Marietta, Georgia, I'm coming.
Marietta,
Georgia.
What's the date?
June 18th.
June 18th.
I'll
be there. Ice live, Marietta, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say, because I ain't never on Urban City Radio, this is pretty dope. Also, because I can talk over the outro music when it comes in. You know what? I'm on the station. Anyway, I just want to say, like, we get a lot of music submissions and things like this. I just want really the biggest thing, the biggest pull from this night. I don't want to get lost in anything. Is that this is an urban ministry show, and urban ministry, you got cats who are being rejected and being told now they know that they're sufficient, and they're willing to fight you to show that they're sufficient. They're willing to do whatever it takes to show that they're sufficient. And the last thing you can do as an urban missionary is walk up to them and not be sufficient in yourself.
Yeah.
When you're acting like you're going to bring them a better way. You know what I'm saying? And that's with all kind of urban ministry of all kinds. Real talk.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's been a great show, man. We thank Bigg Redd for being a part. We thank the host of Freethinkers Radio, the owner, being a part.
Dave Pendergrass.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate y'all out on Periscope, man. We love y'all. This is Urban City Radio, where we bring you the sound of boots on the ground. Peace.
Boot up.